Alright, this is part 2 review, for 8th grade on test 11. So we left off with number 10 yesterday, so we're going to start with 11 today. And just a reminder, these are very similar to the questions you'll see on the test. So it's a good thing you're here and watching this and studying. Alright, first one here. We want to solve for x. We have a proportion. Lots of options here. One that a lot of students go to right away is cross, multiply, divide. 14 times 50. Do that first, and then final step, divide by 20. That will get you your answer. However, one other thing we could do, if we divide, we can reduce this by dividing by 2. So we can turn this into 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. And now, I can see, in order to get from 10 to 50, I multiply by 5. So 7 times 5 should be our answer. X should be 35. Alright, so whichever way you want to do it. Moving on to number 12. Solve 4 times x plus 2.2 equals 7. Not as straightforward as some of our other solving problems because we have a decimal in there. But we're going to treat it the same way that we treat those other ones. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. First thing I want to do is opposite of this. So we're going to subtract 2.2. We got to do that to this side too. Now the whole reason we did that was so that these cancel. Alright? You're left with a 4x over here. And 7 minus 2.2 is 4.8. Now we have 4 times what equals 4.8? Well, we want to do the opposite of times, so we will divide. And we do that because 4 divided by 4 is 1, so they cancel out. 4.8 divided by 4 is 1.2. So x should be 1.2. If we want to go ahead and check that, we will do 4 times 1.2, add 2.2 to that answer, and we should get 7. That's how we would check it. Alright, number 13, simplify. Alright, this is not how it will look tomorrow. It will look like this instead. 4.8 times 10 to the 8th all over 4 times 10 to the 3rd. Alright, and there are a couple answers I will accept for this. The easiest way to go about it is to divide our numbers. 4.8 divided by 4, which we just found out or saw is 1.2 in the last problem. And it's going to be times 10 to the something, okay? We are multiplying and multiplying, so what we can do is look at this, and we have the same base, 10 and 10, so we can subtract our exponents when we are dividing. So 8 minus 3 is 5. That's the simplest answer you could give, starting from where this is. A lot of students, well not a lot, but many, some will go, give me this answer, 120,000. This is also okay. This is the scientific notation version of this answer. So standard form, scientific notation form. All this said is simplify. So unless it specifies what form it needs to be in, I don't care which answer you give me. There's that one. Number 14 is similar except for we are going to be multiplying. So now we have 4 times 10 to the 3rd times 5 times 10 to the 6th. What I like to do, we're multiplying everything so we can rearrange the order via the commutative property. 4 times 5 times 10 to the 3rd 10 to the 6th. Alright? So 4 times 5 we know is 20. Times 10 to the, now we are multiplying, we have the same base at 10, so we can add our exponents, times 10 to the 3 plus 6 is 9. And this is not scientific notation because this first number needs to be between 1 and 10. So we need to take our decimal and move it back one space, 2.0 times 10. Now this tells us we want to move our decimal to the right to turn it into standard form. We took it one further back than it wants to go, so we have to add one there. So 2.0 times 10 to the 10th, or 2 times 10 to the 10th. Or you could give me the very long standard notation answer, which would be a 2 with 10 zeros following it. Alright, so there's 14. Number 15 is one of our interesting ones. This has an exponent, 2 exponents actually that should stand out to us right away. The 0 power, and then we have one that is to the negative third. I will show you the fast way to do this first. 3 to the third right off is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And then we have x to the 4th. And everything's being multiplied, so I'm going to rearrange that multiplication. X to the negative 3, z to the 0. Okay. Since we are multiplying and we have the same base here, x and x, we can add those exponents when we multiply. So 4 plus negative 3 is just a 1. So you have 27, x to the first. Z to the 0 power. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So really, we have times 1, and we can write our solution like that. Because x to the first is just x, and anything times 1 is just itself. So 27x would be our solution. Okay? Now, if we forget that anything to the 0 is 1, here's y. Okay? Let's think of 10 to the second over 10 to the second. Alright? This is 10 times 10, which is 100. 10 times 10, which is 100. And 100 over 100 is 1. Alright? So we know that's true. But if we use our rules, same base, we can do 2 minus 2. And this is 10 to the 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. And we already just said that that's also 1. So anything to the 0 power is 1. Alright? And that's why. For a reminder. Alright, now this I would say is the simpler way to do this, but also we learned a way that if we have a negative exponent and it is up top, we can move that to the bottom or the opposite side that it's on to make it positive or to make it happy. It's unhappy upstairs, we're going to make it happy by bringing it downstairs. So this is still 3 to the third, which is 27, x to the 4th, and we know that this is 1, so I'm just going to leave that out. And now x to the third is positive. Now we have same base, we can do 4 minus 3, and that leaves us x to the first on top, all over 1. But anything over 1 is just itself, and x to the first is just x, and we still get 27x. So whichever way you want to do it. Alright. Number 16, this is a bit of an order of operations problem. We want to do inside the parentheses first. I'm just going to do this one on the calculator, 1.5 minus 0.15, and we get 1.35. Alright, and now on our order of operations, it goes parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. We did everything in the parentheses first, Now we are to multiplying and dividing. They are on the same step. So now we just move from left to right. So we're going to do 1.35 divided by 0.15 and then times 5. And it looks like we get 45. Alright. Just double check that quick. Should be good. Alright. But if we use our order of operations, that's the way it should come out. So we could get a bunch of weird answers there if we don't follow our order of operations. So parentheses first, 1.35 was good, and then we divided like that. So it's a little strange, but that's how that one would be done. Okay. If we follow the order of operation rules, which sometimes looks a little funky, that's why I second guess myself, but that's the way it should go. Alright, number 17. This is a simplify. We cannot solve for x, but we can combine and combine like terms. So anything that looks like that, we can combine with anything that basically has an x squared attached to it. Okay? So 7 plus 2 is 9. Alright? And then we have things with just an x, negative 2x and a negative x. So negative 2 plus negative 1 is negative 3. So our answer is 9x squared minus 3x. Okay? Combine like terms. Alright, we have two more. Number 18. Another simplified problem. Once again, we cannot solve for the variables. There is no equal sign. And we are not set equal to a value. Looks like we're going to have to use the distributive property here, 3 times everything on the inside. And when we were doing that, we used this little box scenario, like so. Alright. 3 is on the outside, x and minus y are on the inside. So we do 3 times x, which is 3x, and 3 times a negative y minus 3y. So that's what we're going to replace it with, 4x plus 3x minus 3y, which we got from over here. And now we can combine 4x and 3x into 7x minus 3y. And there's our answer there. Simplified. And our last one, 19. The diameter of a cylindrical barrel was 15 centimeters. When the barrel was lifted away, it left an imprint of a circle on the ground. What is the area of the circle? Alright, so we had a circle left on the ground. Diameter is all the way across. That's 15 centimeters. And area of the circle is pi times radius squared. We're going to use 3.14 for pi. And we're going to multiply it times our radius squared. This is our diameter. Radius is half of that, which is 7.5. Okay, so we're going to get a weird answer there, but 7.5 to the second. So that means 3.14 times 7.5 times 7.5 times 176.625. Centimeters squared. Is that what we got? Yep. So 7.5 times 7.5 times 3.14 should get us there. Alright, that is all I have. We'll see you tomorrow.